Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. Yes, I've been bitten on my nose again. The bloody dogs. It's the second time in about 2 months. They're going to have me nose off at some point. But look, I hope you're all well. As always, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, drop a like on this video because that really does help us. Right, a bit of a thought piece from me today. Following on from Sunday night's rant-a-thon, which it really was. I was frustrated on Sunday night. And there is something that I do feel guilty about as well. I rarely feel guilty, but I did kind of dig out the fans. And I haven't been pulled up on this because I know a lot of fans are frustrated with other fans, and some people will agree and some people won't. But we should never do that. We shouldn't, even if we disagree. You know, we always have. West Ham fans have always disagreed, you know. We're disagreeable people. We're free thinkers. We're supposed to be anyway. But I am frustrated with the way that people have changed. Society's changed. It's not just football, it's life as well. When you look at the constraints that have been placed on people and the control measures via social media, via news, via laws, basically controlling the way that you think, that you know, the way that you can speak, the way that you can do this, the way that you can do that. They're moulding everyone into a fucking robot. But football was always something different from that. That's happened for years. It has. And it's got steadily worse. And now all you've got are just costumes of people that all think, act, speak in the same way. They've all got the same ideas because you're weird if you think differently to what is socially acceptable. But as I said, football was always different. And when you consider that football is a working class sport, working class people in particular, not just West Ham, fans of all clubs, when you start at the bottom, which most of us did, if you want to make anything of yourself, you've got to have something about you. You've got to be a fighter. You've got to be someone that won't accept where you are, that won't listen, that will keep on pushing, that will keep on going. And you never really shake coming from a working class background. Doesn't matter whether you talk to a film star or a footballer. They all say they get imposter syndrome, which is where you get where you've got through hard work trying to prove people wrong, but you never really feel like you belong. You don't. But it makes us all a little bit crackers, makes us all a little bit quirky. It makes us all fighters. It makes us spirited. And I saw an analogy on Facebook the other day. It's something that I've always liked, this experiment. Not liked it because it's cruel, but it is, by definition, how society is controlled. And that's the flea experiment. And that's where you take a load of fleas, you dump them in a jar. Now, when you initially dump them in that jar, they're leaping out. They're jumping out. They are. Screw the lid on that jar. Leave it there for 3 days. Come back. Take the lid off. Those fleas will never, ever try and jump out of that. They're literally jumping at the height of that jar because they've been conditioned. Trauma has conditioned them from smashing themselves on that. The pain of smashing themselves on the roof of that jar has conditioned them to not jump any further. And the offspring of those fleas will never, because they look at the trends of the other fleas and they'll do the same thing. They'll never ever try and burst through. And that is, in a sense, what's happened with football fans. You know, if you're a free thinker, if you're somebody that does speak or think outside the box, you're looked at as a weirdo, the weird one. I am, quite often. Not by the people that follow this channel, obviously, because not that everyone's the same as me, but they will all be free thinkers and people that appreciate somebody that speaks their mind. But these people are dying out slowly. They are. And it's a shame. And we were never like that, you know. I always imagined, if you use that flea analogy, if you took that lid off, there would still be a few fleas in there that would be jumping out afterwards, going, bollocks, I'm out of here. There'd be the West Ham fleas. They would be. But we're becoming less and less. We're becoming less and less. And it's a shame because, not to go through the same thing again, but as I've said, football has always played a really, really important mechanism in the lives of working class people who, if you live with struggle, you need that release. Also, people all do need a sense of belonging to something, you know, whether it's religion, whatever it is. Football is our religion. It was our religion. It wasn't about the 22 people kicking the ball around. That was, you know, the reason we went. But ultimately, it was a sense of belonging to something. And we had the best family in the world. We did. Nobody else could get it, really, because none of it was about success. It was all about the people. And I think when you look at society now, you've got a generation of people coming through that are going to be just as frustrated as those young people in the 80s and the late 70s, the 80s were frustrated because opportunities are becoming less and less. You got, for instance, kids now, if you're 16 years old, you're going to be thinking to yourself, where am I ever going to get a house? Unless I've got family that are willing to bung me a few quid, it's never going to happen. So opportunities for young people are very few and far between. We've got a very frustrated and angry generation coming through. It's why crime's high and stuff like that. They need football. They do. We need it. But so do our kids, so do our grandkids. It performs a useful function for people like us. And these people have got no right to take that away from us. They're trying to gentrify the sport. They're telling us what we can and can't do. You can't swear. You can't do this. Why can't we have somewhere where we can go and be? We made that sport. Working class people are the reason that the Premier League is worth an absolute fortune. It's a spectacle. Because we saw it in COVID. The Premier League without fans is nothing. It's the passion of the fans. But we're collectively being weeded out throughout all of the clubs. We are. I've had people, Wolves fans, Everton fans, Aston Villa fans, all saying the same thing. It's not the same as it was 20 years ago. We're an extreme example because we are fuck all like what we was 20 years ago. The only thing West Ham about us is the name, and even that ain't right. You know, it's West Ham London now, isn't it? But we can take it back. We're all still here. And look, I'm not as old as I look. I know I look like Father Christmas. But I'm an old-timer compared to many. I'm someone that experienced Upton Park. And there's a load of you out there already that have walked away just like me. But I think we owe it to our families to try and give them what we had, to give them that back. I know it's been diluted over at West Ham now. They never, half of these people never experienced what we did. So you can't miss what you never had. But I tell you what, if we could, even for half a season, recreate half of what we had at Upton Park, the new people that are over there, they'll see it. They'll see. It's like a drug. And then all of a sudden, they're not new. They're kind of, we're all one family again. So I do think it's important that we take this opportunity to get these people out now before they finish the job that they've come in to start. They've taken everything from us. I don't want apologies. They can't apologise for what they've done. I don't even want to sit here ranting about them and laughing at piss-taking videos about them because that's how they get away with it. They get away with it by us calling them jokes and calling them wankers and calling them this, but then we just carry on and we carry on putting money in their pockets. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve anything. What they've done is absolutely despicable. Beyond words. And they have to go. The only way that we will ever make that stadium feel like home will be when they've gone. It will never be a football stadium. It will never be Upton Park. But the whole time that they are there, we're going to be full of blood-boiling resentment towards that little wanker that sits in that director's box because of what he's done to us, and we know it. When the new owners come in, we won't have that same resentment because it ain't them that put us there, and we'll have hope again. We'll have a little bit of belief, which is something that we need. What I'm really struggling with at the moment, I even had it under Moyes, I still had that fire in my belly because I was frustrated, but I had hope, which is dreaming, but I also believed. I've always believed. I've always thought this time next year, we're going to do this. And I believed it because you need that. This is the first time in all my time as a West Ham supporter where the belief is gone. They've taken the belief away from me. I don't believe it's going to be good next year. I don't believe there's any way it can be. I think it's going to be shit, and I think that they are going to try and finish a job that they started. And the only reason that they've recoiled on those concessions is because of how bad the season's gone, and they know they're going to struggle to sell season tickets anyway. That's going to come again. The minute things pick up, if they do, they'll start trying to flush people out again so they can start getting in the high-paying tourists because they're all about the pound note and they don't care about us. We were very close to getting these people out just before COVID, and then COVID hit, the lucky little bastard. We were really gaining momentum with those protests. And I think that it needs to start again. We need to give it a go just so that we can we can say to ourselves we tried. Certainly from my point of view. From my point of view, I'm not going to put pressure on anyone to jump on board with it. I'm not going to pressure any other channels or any other this or any other that. I'm going to invite people. So anyone that does want to jump on board with this, they can. But I am going to do that 24-hour stream, even if I end up doing it on my own. I'm going to do it. We're going to raise the petition. And if anyone else does want to jump on board with this, please get in touch and please do. Yeah, it's time we took the club back. This is far bigger than Potter. I'm fed up moaning about the manager. I know he's shit, but once he's gone, they're just going to put another shit manager in. We're going around in circles. It's boring. It really is. We need to take back control, and we can. This is our club. It's not theirs. It really ain't theirs, even though they fucking think it is. So, yeah, that's probably going to be. It's not confirmed yet, but I'm planning on doing it in 2 Saturdays' time. So not this Saturday, the Saturday after. 24-hour session. There's a couple of us that are already going to jump on it already, and we'll be tag teaming. We've got some fun ideas as well because we've got to pad out 24 hours. But anyone that does want to come on, you know, be it like a Bill Gardner or someone like that wants to come on and sort of give their stories on West Ham, you know, you haven't got to say anything that you're uncomfortable with. I'm not asking you to do that. This is all about us just getting West Ham back. It's me that's asking for them to go. And there'll be a petition by the time that show starts. Hopefully that will get some traction in getting these people out. And I'm hoping that fans of other clubs that are watching this as well, I'm hoping this will resonate with you guys and that you'll help. You'll help with the, sign the petition. Help us out. Like I said, we're all working class people at the end of the day. You know, our football clubs are our religion. They're our lifeblood. And these fucking owners that come into these clubs, they tear us to pieces. And it ain't fair. We need to take it back. Right, well, I've waffled on a bit there. All right. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks for listening, if you are still listening. And I'll speak to you soon. Come on, your irons.